You have a few options when it comes to pulling attendee or event information from Gecko. Now, everything that we're going to be looking at right here can be found by going to Settings, Export Data, and clicking New Export in the top right hand corner, and you'll be brought to this screen here. Now, the two types of export we're going to be looking at are events, which pull information on the event itself. Think of this as a general overview of the event and the underlying stats. And attendees, which allows us to pick a particular event and dive into the attendee information, so giving us data on the people who are attending that particular event. Now let's look at both of these sequentially. For events, firstly, we can choose, do we want to make this granular and focus on one particular event that's run, or we can leave this completely blank and tell Gecko to export information on every single event that we've run. Now for this type of export, give your export a name, choose the recipient, so do we send this to multiple existing Gecko users, or do we want to send this to external stakeholders, and you can mix and match between the two. You then choose to create a custom export, and what we're basically doing here is building the structure of our CSV spreadsheet. So what should be in column A? Do we want to see the amount of people who have attended? Do we want to see the people who are on the wait list? Do we want to see the amount of people who have cancelled, etc.? And so this would be column A, column B, column C respectively, and these can be dragged and dropped, and the column headers can be renamed at will. Now, there's not an awful lot of flexibility, whereas other sections do allow you to add on additional information. This is really meant as a general overview on your event, and you'll see there's a ton of different information, basically every conceivable data point that you could pull about your event from an administrative perspective can be seen from this particular screen. So oftentimes you'll just be coming into the custom export and saying, I want every single field, and you get all of the information that's going to be coming from Gecko here. Things do change slightly if we choose an attendees export, because again, rather than telling Gecko to pull information on the event, we're saying, this is the event I'm interested in. Now, what I'd like is the information on which contacts have attended this particular event. Again, same as the events, give your export a name, choose who receives a copy of this. You do have the ability to filter by status, so if you're only interested in the people who attended or did not attend, conversely, you can cherry pick those. When you come to creating your custom attendance information, you can choose what is going to be pulled in. So the attendance level on the overall event, information on the sessions, how many guests were brought, so on and so forth. Crucially here though, you can choose to tack on additional information from other parts of the system. So maybe we want to see the attendee information in the overall session, but we also want to pull in information on the contact, such as their name, their email address, their program of interest, their year of interest. You can also choose to pull in information from form responses. So if you want to dynamically include information on what they said on their booking form in certain fields, you can do so, but also information on their consent records, organizations they belong to, or calls. Now for both the events and attendees exports when you're running them, when you've set everything up and you're happy with it, you can choose to make this a one-off export, or you can make this a recurring export that repeats at whatever frequency or interval you'd like. You can choose to push this to an SFTP server if you're using this for an integration. And when everything's set up to your liking, you can save this as a template. So next time you come to build a new export, you just need simply select it and everything is already pre-configured. Finally, when you're ready to run this, just hit export, and the recipients should receive that export very shortly.